Well, our latest guest on Racing Connoisseurs needs absolutely no introduction. Multiple Kentucky Derby winner, Doug ONeill. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Brittany. This is incredible. Well, I've been to Brigantine before multiple times, but never on this patio. This is beautiful.
It's gorgeous, right? And I think the perfect thing about Brigantine is we could just look right over our shoulders and see the beautiful Del Mar racetrack.
It's got everything here.
So, as I kind of led into, everybody knows you as a Kentucky Derby winning trainer and so successful as long as I've known you. But where did it all begin for you?
You know, it all began back in the streets of Dearborn, Michigan.
Oh, interesting.
Pretty rough streets.
Never been there.
Oh, yeah. You don't really want to go.
A little sketchy?
It's all right. It has its moments. But I grew up there, and at the age of 10, my family moved to Santa Monica, California. And
wow.
That's a good little
Not
switch.
rough streets there.
No, well, it's a home of the homeless. There's a lot of.
It's true.
But the first weekend we were here in Santa Monica, California, you know, you'd think you'd go to Disneyland or Magic Mountain or something like that. And my dad took us all to Santa Anita. And right there, I was like, wow, I realized why my dad and my uncles loved horse racing so much. And I just kind of got bit at that point. And then I had a good friend and a basketball coach named Mike Amadei, who went to school with trainer Jude Feld. And Jude gave me a job right out of high school here at Del Mar. And pretty much I've been doing it ever since.
So when you moved to Santa Monica, was that really your first interaction with horse racing?
Pretty much. You know, in Michigan at the time, you had to be 14. So my brother Dennis and my other brothers went a few times with my dad to Hazel Park and Detroit Race Course. But I was always kind of outside looking in. And they were always reading the form and talking about horses, but never really got to enjoy it until I was 10 and at Santa Anita.
So when did you take over and really set out on your own?
You know, it was probably at like age 21 or so, about 3 years into it. I jumped in, took one horse, and the late Doug Peterson let me be his assistant and have a couple of my own horses with him, and so that was probably the first time where I really jumped in with both feet and started going for it.
It's such a hard transition, wouldn't you say, going from being an assistant to really standing alone as a trainer. When did you feel like you really made that mark on your own and you said, okay, you know what, I'm a successful trainer. I have kind of done this. I can do this.
I don't know. I don't know if you ever get to that point. You know, you go through slumps where, like right now, we're slumping at Del Mar, and you start thinking, God, am I training too hard? Am I not training hard enough? So, you know, these amazing horses, you just got to listen to them. And you know, when I started off in '86, it was a 7-day-a-week job, and you know, you really you're just thrown into the horses' lives, and you're you know, you're there caring for them, and you're able to just judge and feel how they're doing, and so you know, I think probably I'm still evolving as a trainer. I would like to think, still learning, and probably the first horse that we had that started running at a competition where I thought I would never get to was a horse named Skyjack. You know, he won the Hollywood Gold Cup, and it was like, wow, you know, I thought that was just left for the big-time connections, could only win races like that. And I think that race really made me realize, you know, if you luck into a top horse and you take really good care of them, and great things can happen.
You've had a lot of top horses. Can you take us through just the mindset of getting to the Kentucky Derby with All Have Another, winning the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness? I mean, you have your team set by then, but what was that experience like for you guys?
Oh, it was so amazing, and that's, you know, when you mention team, to me, I love the fact that we've been able to put together a team led by Leandro Mora and my brother Dennis, you know, Jack Sisterson. Steve Rothblum is a great asset too. So we got so many guys, and it's really, you know, as you go on the journey of trying to take all the horses there are certain races where they're going to go. There's a lot of question marks. There's a lot of, you know, things that you need to huddle up on, and I really think I'm so blessed to have a great team. And that All Have Another journey was just incredible, from winning to Bob Lewis as a long shot, and then winning the Santa Anita Derby, and so it was just an incredible run.
If you were to compare Team ONeill with a sports team, who do you guys think you're most like?
Wow. Oh, wow. Who would we be like? Well, let's see. Ideally, a top winning team.
Like the Cavaliers. Or the Warriors, because those are two very different teams if we're talking basketball. They're both very successful in their own right.
Yeah. I like that. Either one of those. We can't say the Pistons. I couldn't say the Detroit Pistons. It's been a while. Maybe back in the day, the early 80s, the bad boy days where they were winning. But
I guess we can't say the Lakers anymore, can we?
They're coming back, though.
Yes?
They're coming back.
That's all I want to hear.
Yeah. I have season tickets. There's about 10 of us. So I want to go to a couple games to the Clippers, though.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. You don't really? Not feeling it?
No, not feeling it.
All right. Well,
okay, so we'll put you in the likes of the Warriors and the Cavaliers.
I like that.
How did you meet Leandro, by the way? Because he's been with you for so long, and you give him, obviously, so much credit.
Leandro, I had an assistant named Ricardo that was with us for a while, and Pepe. Ricardo and Pepe, two great guys, and they both went on their way to other challenges, and so I was without an assistant, and George Gutierrez came up to me and noticed that I look lonely and I needed to. So
you needed a team.
I needed a team. I was like out there on the field, and I was the only one out there. What's going on? And so he had mentioned Tim Pinfield had just went to another country to train, and his main assistant Leandro Mora was going to stay here and looking for a job. So immediately I contacted Leandro, and he immediately accepted and just said, "Can I just have 1 week off? I just got done working for Tim." So he took like a week off. I said, "Absolutely not." But now he is just not only is he an amazing horseman, but he's family. He's like a brother. We're brothers, and he is just any success that our team has had, he's a huge part of it.
Do you attribute all of your success to this family atmosphere?
I do, because I really think horses, I know they do. They feed off us, and it's really life in itself is all about attitude, I think, and horses are no different. If you've got a good attitude, and they're gonna perform well, they're gonna do better, I think, and I think the guys we surround the horses with on a daily basis, for the most part, we all have our down days, but for the most part, we have a good attitude, and we realize how privileged we are to be, working with these amazing horses, and right now as we're slumping, we're there together, and we're staying strong, and we're going to make some tweaks and get them winning again.
You say slumping, but you won the Kentucky Derby this
that was
year,
cool.
So that's pretty incredible with Nyquist. Obviously, the defeat in the Preakness and in the Betfair.com Haskell, but you guys are regrouping. Can you tell us how Nyquist is doing?
Nyquist is doing great. Yeah, he's going through this growth spurt, which you'll see a lot of 3-year-olds do, where he's probably grown a few inches. He's eating great. His energy level's great, but he's just gotten a little thin.
Like the tall, skinny kid.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, some acne. Got some little acne going on. No, he doesn't have acne. But huddling up with Paul and Zilla, we just decided, a couple weeks of maybe getting him away from the stress of everyday training. We sent him over to. He's at St. Louis Ray Downs now, which is beautiful. It's tranquil, and they have a swimming pool there.
That's interesting. What does he get out of swimming?
It's amazing when you see horses go around that pool. The amount of energy they put in to swim is it's incredible. I mean, he's really blowing when he's done swimming, and there's no pounding on his legs. It's kind of like you or I. They use muscles that they normally don't use. So I think it's a great way to help him out as he's going through this little growth spurt, and very happy. I think he's already put on 20-25 pounds. I really have, just in the last couple weeks since the Haskell, as we've just kind of backed off him a little bit and are just pouring the grain to him, pouring the alfalfa to him, and not training hard on him. He's starting to fill out a little bit.
A lot of trainers mention sometimes it's really hard to keep weight on horses, especially with the traveling and these tough races that they're in. Has he ever been one to have a little bit of trouble to keep on weight?
He's never had. No, so that's why this is such a unique thing for him. Is just as he's growing now. I think he's just, as we listen to him, he's telling me just back off a little bit on the weight on my back and the exercise on the track. So we're listening to him, and we're going to continue to call audibles along the way. But the ultimate goal is the Breeders' Cup Classic, and so we got that date circled, and we're possibly might have another race into him before then.
All right, well, look forward to that. I mean, could you imagine what the Classic could look like this year with horses like Nyquist and Exaggerator and California Chrome and Dortmund? I mean, talk about a championship in November.
That's a lot of celebrity. Those are a lot of special horses this year. Yeah, no, it would be just an honor to be able to line up against those great horses. Maybe even Beholder could show up there, Frosted. Yeah, it could be the best Classic to come around in a long time. So, and we're confident that when Nyquist, when he's doing really well, he stacks up with all those horses. I know he's a little not as long in the tooth as some of them, but he's so gifted, so talented, and I'm looking forward to that day. Hopefully it comes.
Oh, and he's got that killer instinct too. I know that's one thing the whole team says that Nyquist has.
He does.
Killer instinct.
He does. He wants to beat you.
Well, he started out as a supremely talented 2-year-old, and it seems like your bench is loaded this year with talented 2-year-olds. I'm going to make you put your handicapping hat on, okay, to help out all of our viewers here. Put it right on. Friday, you've got quite a few 2-year-olds on hand. Simmy's Temple, Tammy's Window. Can you tell us about the expectations for them on Friday?
Yeah, both those fillies were trying the grass. Actually, Simmy's Temple just ran on the grass, so she's coming back, and she's a filly by Royal Applause we bought from Europe, and we're excited about her. The other day, she just ran real steady, so we're making some changes equipment-wise, and we're going to kind of put her more into the race. Tammy's Window, there's a lot of grass pedigree in her family line, so we're trying that out with her. But it's such an exciting time of year because you just hope and pray, and you can feel it that there's a Nyquist in there somewhere. And whether these two fillies are one of them, not sure, but we're excited about Friday with them.
Well, could Green with Eddie be your next Nyquist?
He's you got the same connections. You got Paul and Zilla Redham, and he's a homebred, and the Square Eddies have just been so phenomenal the way they've won going long, going short, turf, dirt, everything. So he could be, you never know. He's got that killer instinct. We do have a couple in the Best Pal with Rinse and Repeat, another homebred of Paul and Zilla's, and then Secret House of Saul Coonan's, who's a son of Tisnow, who's extremely talented as well. So we're still we're excited about some babies that we have that haven't even started yet. So the future's bright.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about that Best Pal Stakes. Coming up on Saturday, a race that Nyquist won in 2015, leading up for the Grade 1 Del Mar Futurity, which I'm sure you'll have, a loaded amount of horses in that race. And you mentioned these two horses. Secret House obviously has more experience underneath his belt. He ran in the Santa Anita Juvenile. Was he always a horse that you had high expectations for? We
really have, yeah. He's an absolutely beautiful, handsome horse, and good size, got a big white face on him, and a lot of weight on his legs. So he's such a handsome dude and extremely talented. Jumps a long way with not a lot of effort. And I really thought we wouldn't see the best of him till we went 2 turns. And when he debuted the way he did, I called Saul right away and just said, if we stay lucky and keep him injury free, there's no telling how good this guy could be. So they kind of ran away from him a little bit in the Santa Anita Juvenile. We're adding blinkers to him today, just to kind of keep him more into the race without having to send him. And we got Santiago Gonzalez is going to ride him here in the Best Pal. So we're still extremely excited about Secret House.
And then Rinse and Repeat, where do you see him fitting within the field as he just broke his maiden?
Yeah, he's got a win over this track. He's got 3 races under his belt. He likes to kind of lay back and let the race unfold. So, if there's a hot contested pace, I see him running down the lane. So he's a Calbred who, we decided not to run him and Green with Eddie together in the last Calbred Stakes, so we decided to split them up, and I think the distance will suit him well.
That's got to be tough when you have it, especially, I know you have weekly meetings with Mr. Redham and Mario, and does it get tough when you have so many horses that all have so much talent? Where do you put them all?
Well, the great part of the meetings we have is that we're all on the same page, and, prior to the meetings, it was just a lot of, we would talk on the phone, and, Paul would be busy or I'd be busy, and it just never really seemed like we got a lot done. And in these meetings, they're great because Mario will chime in with, I think right now this one would be more suited at 6.5. This one, so we're wrong a lot, but at least we're wrong together. And but it's real exciting, with again these Square Eddies. We have a lot of babies that Paul and Zilla bought at sales that have just taken a while to get going this year. So while we're waiting on them, we have these homebreds that are kind of helping pay the bills.
Okay, before I let you go, any other horses that maybe we haven't seen hit the track that we should be keeping an eye on?
God, yeah, we've got. Trying to think out loud.
So
here.
many.
It's so many. Oh God, we have. I have another one for Saul Coonan, a son of Awesome Again, and now I'm trying to think of his name.
I'm gonna have to look it up.
Yeah, look it up.
Look it up on Equibase.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it starts with a B, but he's really getting close to ready to run, and so, but we have babies, and they're you're going to start seeing them probably more so when we get over to Santa Anita. We'll start seeing them debut.
I can't wait.
Yes.
Okay, I have one more question.
Yes.
One race that you haven't won yet that would really make a highlight of your career.
Oh wow! Well, the Breeders' Cup Classic. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I mean, that's really the Super Bowl of the older male division. So that would be that's on the bucket list.
See if Nyquist can get that job done. Todd, thank you so much for joining
Thanks for having
me on
me.
another edition of Racing Connoisseurs. Oh, and we didn't even introduce
Yes.
the drinks here. This is called the 15th Street, which is a wonderful street just down here in Del Mar, and this is called the Betting Lady.
I love the names.
Appropriate,
I
right?
love the names. Cheers.
Cheers to you,
Yes.
and cheers to another edition of Racing Connoisseurs here at Del Mar Hotspot, the Brigantine.